Welcome to Focus on B, the video series where I spent about 20 or so minutes playing and talking about a game that I've got some thoughts on. I've been thinking about it, I've been playing it. This is Unreal Tournament free, and no, I'm not playing the PC version with obvious keyboard controls for some reason. This is the PS free version. But the absolute madmen over at RPC is Free have made it so that even on this pretty outdated GPU, I can play this game at double native resolution. That's 1440p, right? Almost 4K. And my GPU's like, what? The fuck? Are you even playing a game right now? I thought you were using Microsoft Paint. You know what I mean? It barely even notices. I'm just shocked. I was totally ready to do this game at native resolution. You could tell because I'm compiling the shaders. I was totally getting ready to do that. You know, you guys would have to watch a poor old 720p video, but I mean, I would still make it 1080, but like in terms of the actual game footage, right? But no, it's absolutely gorgeous and runs perfectly at 1440p, probably higher than that. So I don't know if it's who to be thanking here, be it RPC is Free or Epic Games, because, you know, the Unreal Engine is pretty well known for running quite well on a pretty decent variety of hardware. But anyway, enough tech talk. This is Unreal Tournament free. It's a game that's kind of the last of its kind in a way. I mean, there have been plenty of arena shooters since, but very few that have been high profile in a way, you know, like major publishers, multi-console releases. There was Quake Champions, which I think is only on... Is it only on PC? I have no idea. Is it any good? I've heard that it's quite good, actually, but obviously it's no Quake free. Let me just sip my white Monster energy drink. Yup, Quake free was a good game. No, really though, it is actually pretty cool. And you know what's funny? I understand that Quake is actually better for one-on-one, but I think I find the most enjoyment out of this game. In fact, as of late, I've been finding the most enjoyment out of the genre... period. Fuck yeah, I got him anyway. In the one-on-one modes, which is funny because actually Quake is supposed to be better for that. At least that's what I find. You know, most people prefer Quake for one-on-one gameplay, but I really like the feel of Unreal Tournament. I like the way the weapons feel. I love the way the game looks. I mean, I love how all of them look. Well, okay, there's Unreal Tournament 2003, which is a very interesting case because it retroactively ended up becoming like the Black Sheep game in the sense that right after it came 2004, which essentially updated and improved upon every single possible aspect it could have improved while keeping everything else from the previous game and essentially made it kind of obsolete. I mean, nowadays it's practically impossible to play on modern hardware. You can still play, even though Epic have been like, no, with the the rest of the Unreal Tournament games, even though they actually have approved of getting them in alternate ways that you would get the games nowadays. The funny thing is, though, Unreal Tournament 2004 is actually on GOG, and as you know, GOG, there's no DRM, so, you know, I mean, it's not on GOG anymore, but there's alternative ways to acquire that GOG release, which doesn't have DRM, so you can just play it, no problem, you know, on modern systems, because the thing is, right, even if you own a game legit from a certain time period, you probably still won't be able to actually play it because of the DRM. It's just like, hey, what the fuck is a Windows 11? I want Windows 7, damn it. I'm Securom and I suck dick. No. But yeah, that's kind of the unfortunate thing. Hey, at least it ain't Star Force, because let me tell you, Star Force, it kills the insides of your computer. It literally does. It renames your boot disk. It basically acts like malware, which is fun. I wonder what's going to happen to Denuvo in years to come. I mean, they're going to keep updating it, but I mean like older versions of Denuvo. I'm very curious. Or maybe they would have to update its compatibility. Whatever, let's talk about the actual game now. I've spent like 5 minutes not talking about Unreal Tournament free as a whole. This game came under fire, right? When it came out, it actually got pretty damn good reviews from the press generally. I just love doing this, like when I've got nothing else to do, like waiting for my lectures or whatever. I just adore opening up archives of old game reviews, be it magazines or websites, you know, from back when those games were new. Because it's one thing to witness someone's current opinion of a game through the lens of what we have now, but it's another thing entirely to read about what people thought of a certain game back when it was new. So it's really cool, like reading reviews from 2007 and 8 of this game. And actually got pretty good reviews for the most part. I'm not sure. It definitely didn't. I don't think it compared quite as favorably in terms of the amount of content on offer, obviously. You've lost the match. I really don't care, honestly. Compared to Unreal Tournament 2004, because that game was just a fucking mutter load of content. I mean, it's crazy. How the hell do I... What button do I push? Damn it. There you go. Yeah, because obviously I'm playing this on a real PlayStation free with the real... Funnily enough, though, I know it's joking, but like, funnily enough, this game has mouse and keyboard support. Now, I cannot even begin to be even slightly fucked to actually get that going on our PC is free. I know it's not that hard, most likely, but there's the matter of like capturing the mouse, as in like it getting caught in the window, and sometimes you can't escape. I have that happen sometimes in PCSX2, which is why my Half-Life video that I did a little while ago, I didn't use the mouse for it. Well, one, because it was inverted, and I don't want to use mouse inversion. I don't mind like look inversion when I'm using my keyboard, but when it comes to mouse inversion, ew, no, sorry. 5 minutes, thank you very much. But that, and the fact that there was some janky stuff going on with the way the emulator captured the mouse, so I'd rather just play the game like this. Honestly, I'm not playing on a high enough difficulty to really need the accuracy of mouse and keyboard. And as you can probably tell by my movements, this game, this version of Unreal Tournament Free, has auto-aim up the ass. Like, it helps you out so fucking much, you know what I mean? It's like the game basically aims for you. Look at this shit. I'm barely even, like, trying to move around, and my camera is just kind of shifting on its own. So this is a capture the flag map, right? And what's interesting thing is that I often flip-flop between my preference of these kind of game modes. On one hand, yes, obviously, just shooting guys in the face eventually gets boring. So you want to have a capture the flag, you want to have a warfare, you want to have a bombing run, you want to have a domination, whatever it might be. Can you fuckers, like... yeah. Okay, so I know what's going to happen now. I know what's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. Yep. Someone was gonna lose the flag, and I always just stand there ready to return it, because it's like I know that my bot buddies are fucking incompetent. So am I, to be fair. I'm not... Okay. Let's go ahead and... Yeah, let's grab one of these. Actually, do I have the translocator? I think, yeah, I do. Look. That thing looks so weird in this game, but it's kind of cool, too. I can switch over. Like that. And I can... It's a really fun weapon, but at the same time I feel that I have this thing where I don't really switch to it as often as I really should be switching to it, and God, holy shit, the AI needs to shut the fuck up. I'm having such a hard time commentating over this. You, shut the fuck up. Where are you? Voice volume. Shut up. Announcer, shut up. Oh my God. Okay, finally I can actually, no, I don't want to leave the map though. How do I not leave the map? Yeah, there you go. Finally. Now it's... funny story. I'm not sure if this is actually how it is on PS3, but it wouldn't surprise me knowing how much of a pain in the ass the PS3 was to develop for. But it saves like a motherfucker. Like, it saves forever when it does in-game. In the menus, it's fine. But in-game, this shit takes forever to save. But what was I talking about? I was talking about the mouse. I was talking about the graphics and stuff. I don't remember exactly. But here's the thing. Like, the arena shooter genre isn't extinct. There's still tons of games. I mean, Xonotic and a bunch of other games that exist that I could probably... There's probably like hundreds of them, right? With only a few of them being all that popular, much like the 2D platformer, for example, much like the boomer shooter, there's going to be people making these kind of games, and there's going to be people playing them. But the concept of a more big budget type of this game really is foreign to the modern audience. And I get why. I mean, like, what fucking idiot publisher is going to spend millions, funding a game like this that five people who grew up playing a Quake Free and Unreal Tournament are going to play? You get what I mean? There's still plenty of multiplayer deathmatch to be found with a lot of high-quality polish, but it's a different kind of deathmatch, right? With loadouts, with slower movement, or just more team-based stuff, which this is team-based. Speaking of team-based, I'm honestly fucking shocked this hasn't crashed yet, because usually when I play the team stuff on the simulator, it crashes. Not that it really... it's not a complaint. I mean, like, this is fucking incredible that it's even running. Like, if you told me, like, 10 years ago that I would be emulating a 7th generation game on a not top-of-the-line PC, at, you know, a million times the native resolution with no frame rate hiccups whatsoever, I would not ever believe you. And so why do people have problems with this game? Let's get back to that topic, right? I'm having a really hard time concentrating. I'm really tired. Why do people have problems with this game? Primarily it was, one, the lack of the assault mode, the lack of the domination mode, even bombing run was omitted. There was a lot of stuff that was cut. Now, I actually completely understand why assault was cut, because, you know, this game has an incredibly high level of polish, as you can see. I mean, I still believe that, you know what, I'm just gonna sound stupid as shit, it's gonna sound Gen Z as fuck, but it's like, or maybe actually, no, I wouldn't have nostalgia with this because this is too old for me to have nostalgia for it, but I do because of Sonic fan games. So many Sonic fan games use assets from this game, it's not even funny. But essentially, what was I talking about? I honestly believe that this is like one of the best looking games ever made. It's so detailed, it's so rich, just everything looks good, and it still looks great. Even on this, you know, butchered console version, you know, just increasing the resolution, bada boom, look at this shit. It's gorgeous. The detail, I mean, I could live without the bloom, to be fair. The bloom is a little bit of an eyesore. Although it's not as bad when you set the game's post-processing to muted. But anyway, so with this level of polish, you know, because the assault mode was quite an elaborate one. You had these giant maps with these missions and different map sections and stuff. I understand why it probably wouldn't have been feasible for them to feature all of that. At least not within the deadline they might have been working with the budget that they would have been working with. You gotta understand, this game came out only 2 years, 2 years after Unreal Championship 2, which was a total overhaul. That game was actually very good. It's very different compared to the typical Unreal Tournament experience, but it's a ridiculously polished game. It also emulates great. Like really, on XEMU, the original game has stupid long loading times and lots of performance issues. On the same PC, with Unreal Championship 2, the game looks better, runs better, and loads in a snap. Like in a second. Like what the fuck? Like, clearly Epic have, or whoever, maybe, I mean, yeah, imagine Epic worked on that game. They optimized the ever-living shit out of the Unreal Engine for that particular game, because it's crazy. It's crazy how much of a jump it was technically. So anyway, with that higher level of polish that this game presents, I guess it can't be completely realistic to expect modes such as Assault to come back, right? Now this is the base version. On PC they added a bunch of stuff back, obviously, either through community mods or official, you know, Titan pack title updates, whatever the fuck you want to call them. I don't know. They're all on archive.org. You can get them. Obviously, Unreal Tournament Free X is never happening. But anyway, let's try out a map of... I don't want to play Warfare. I don't like modes. This is why I don't like Battlefield either, because I just don't like large sprawling maps in the context of a multiplayer shooter. I prefer something more confined. My favorite way to play this game is in duel. Honestly, load up a duel match, just one-on-one, one pretty skilled opponent in a small map. That shit's really fun. But for the sake of variety, let's do a vehicle CTF. And wow. Look at this incredible variety of maps that we have. And of course, let's go with the... You know what? Should we go with the demo map? Because it's the demo map, right? Like, the demo had, like, free maps. It had Xinghua, the one I showcased at the start. It had Heat Ray, and it had this. No. Let's go with a different one, because basically I occasionally like to experience the demo versions of games that are abandonware anyway and you can get for free, because it's fun, because it's like they're basically obsolete. Like, why? You can just get the full game for free because no one's selling it. But it's really interesting witnessing those versions because, one, they're different versions of the game, and also because game demos like that are kind of... They are the epitome of a time capsule. They're locked in time because the full game will continue receiving updates and stuff from the fans. Even if it doesn't receive them officially, it'll get, you know, fan patches, fan launchers, and all sorts of stuff to make the game more compatible. But with the demo version, like, who the fuck's going to be updating the demo version, right? So that's really a test of the compatibility of the game to see just how well that original executable from back then works. And if you ever needed further proof that John Carmack is a fucking wizard, the original 1997.exe of the Quake 2 test version still works on Windows 10. I'm not kidding. At high resolutions, at a pretty good frame rate, with full mouse support, and you can even set the FOV to 120. Not even this fucking game lets you do that on PC. Like, really, on PC, this game's FOV, at least from what I can tell, at least without mods, ooh, an EMP mine, cool. At least without mods, seems to be locked at 110. Like, you can't go any higher than 110, which, I mean, it's not unplayable. I'm not gonna, say, like, oh, I can't fucking play. Oh, I can't switch to my other weapons. Like, no, of course I can play the game at 110. I can play it like this. I don't even know what FOV this is. It's definitely not 75. It feels more like 90. And honestly, for widescreen, 90 is a little bit low for me. I'd rather have something higher for widescreen. Like, for 4x3, it's fine. And to be fair, I imagine that by this point, a lot of people are playing in 4x3 anyway. Also, I love how this is a vehicle CTF, but I'm completely ignoring the vehicles. Also, yes, you have skateboard. I have skateboard. Yeah, if you ever thought this game genuinely took itself seriously, well, the art director definitely took this game seriously, but the game itself, I'm a lizard man, I'm a dragon man on skateboard in neon clothes. I fucking love this game, honestly. Can I enter it? Yeah, I can hijack, carjack, nice. Oh god, I'm sorry for making you dizzy with the motion blur, you can't turn that off. Except, I don't need to be in this because I just have to go ahead and grab the thing. There's something about the difficulty of the game's AI, actually, that I find a good way to fine-tune your experience is to basically decrease the difficulty the more opponents you have, essentially. If you're playing a mode with a bunch of guys, make them stupid, because otherwise it's fucking impossible. If you're playing a one-on-one, you can make them a little harder, because it's one-on-one, you can focus entirely on them, right? That's what I find that results in the best possible for fuck's sake, that results in the best overall gameplay experience, and there it is. That is what I was anticipating, and I'm not surprised whatsoever, but we've got some more time left, so I'm not going to end it off right there. I'll see you guys in another map after I fix this crash. You know, I've always liked this map. I'm not sure why. Maybe because it reminds me of Half-Life. It has like this very Source engine kind of look to it, like Gold Source. And also, another thing, look at those fucking textures, man. Like, look at them. When you're looking at them at just the right angle, it looks like you can fucking lick them. Oh, where the hell am I? I don't know why, but I always love using that as a comparison. Like with Need for Speed Shift as well. It's like I can lick those road textures, but really, look at the fucking textures on the ground. I mean, actually, there it is, at that angle right there. The textures aren't really that good looking, but it's just the bump mapping and specular mapping that makes it look incredible. Right? It just brings out this depth to them that it's the Serious Sam effect in a way. But yeah, so let's get back to the game's criticism. So one thing, it was the lack of content. It was also the absolutely fucking hilariously bad single-player campaign, which was just a series of random events with some narrative they were trying to sort of fit together. And like, yeah, I think Championship 2 had a narrative, but one, the characters were a little bit more entertaining in there. That's one. And two, whatever that one character was with the Egyptian theme going on had great breasts, and that's pretty much it. But here, it's like we just have so much boring shit and a protagonist who never shuts the fuck up to the point where that's even pointed out. It's like, do you ever shut the fuck up? Like, I think the black guy, what was his name, Malcolm or something? One of the default skins from the last few games, he just, like, asks him, like, if he ever shuts up because he goes all fanboy around him. And I found that kind of funny, to be honest. And that was it. And also on PC, there's this really awesome, cool compatibility problem where the game never saves your progress in that mode. So honestly, I don't care to find out what happens. I mean, that's what the internet's for. I can just look it up or play it here because I don't think that's going to be an issue on this version because it's being emulated. So if I really wanted to play the campaign, I could do it this way. But I don't want to play the campaign. You know, it's funny how like the more effort a game like this puts into its single-player campaign, the worse it ends up becoming. Like the best one is still the original because it's just deathmatch, deathmatch. Deathmatch, 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 capture the flag, domination. I actually think domination goes after whatever. I've always been a fan of domination actually as a game mode. Gotta be careful how I say that, but really I love the fact that you're just constantly running from point A to point B. Here it's, you see, Duel has like this tensity to it. And when I was a kid, I really didn't like these kind of games where, oh, it's like you only have a few opponents and you're constantly running around looking for them. But now as an adult, I genuinely kind of prefer this because there's a certain tension that you get from not knowing where your opponent is, waiting for them to show their face, right? And you always have to be ready to attack them. It's almost like a horror game, except it's actually fun. But really, it's interesting how that changes over time. Because back then it was like, this is stupid. Where's the guy? I don't want to, have to spend most of the time not shooting the guy. Now I'm like, ooh, where's the guy? I want to know where he is. But it's like, maybe I just have to be ready. Also, I fucking love how the flak cannon looks like Bumblebee. It looks like it's made of Bumblebee, the Transformer. Everything looks Transformers in this. It was 2008. The fuck do you expect? What I've done, Actually, wait, when did that album come out? That was 2008, right? Or was it? No, I think that song came out in 2007, but no, the whole album came out. Oh, fuck, it doesn't matter. What point is, it's like, this was like peak Linkin Park era, R.I.P. and all that. Except, no, I mean, here's the thing. I think this game is really cool, actually. It's an interesting timepiece. It's actually a fun game in its own right. It does undeniably have a couple drawbacks when... Seriously, where the fuck is my opponent? That looks so good, though. Look at that. That's gorgeous. It does have drawbacks compared to its brethren, right? It doesn't have quite the same amount of content. Its single-player campaign is fucking stupid. And... I don't know. I don't think they've made any other changes that are necessarily for the worse. The art style is a bit contentious. It's true that not everyone's a fan of the piss filter sort of thing. I think this game pulls it off quite well, actually, and there's a good variety of the different colors of piss filter that we get in the game. It's not the same kind of piss. There's different levels of hydration within the piss. But it's true that you know what, fuck it. I think this game, as I already said earlier, this is a great looking game. In fact, it's one of my favorite looking first-person shooters. It's the style. It's not just because it's realistic. It's more so just the level of detail in the environments and the way that everything is stylized with just the curviness to it and the pointed edges. And how the fuck did I lose? Didn't I kill him more than he killed me? You know what? I'm a little bit confused now, but that's going to do it for this episode of Focus on B, the video series where we spent about 20 or so minutes spinning around this guy. You spin me. Oh, fuck. No, he saved me from the copyright strike. Can I, just look at the... Fuck it, I guess we're going back to the main menu. But yeah, I really, really like this game. My favorite Unreal Tournament game is probably going to remain the first one. And, I find that its different versions are also very interesting little curiosity pieces, like the PS2 version, which is actually quite good and offers some extra little bits of polish over the vanilla PC game. And also there's the Dreamcast version, which has a lot of strange changes, a lot of cool unique maps. And then there's also the championship games, which I actually quite like, even though I don't really play them too often. They're just kind of cool to know that they exist. And, yeah, 2003, 2004. There's also what was it, Unreal Tournament 4, which never really, it reached a certain point. You can even still play it today, but, I don't know, I haven't played it. I don't really feel like downloading the billion gigabytes that it is. It's probably not that big, actually, but still, it's cool that it exists, though. Right, like what an Unreal Tournament would look like in a more modern sort of setting. This game, I think, still holds up quite well. I really do think that, piss filter aside, it's actually aged very well, and the gameplay is still super fun. Oh, you know what? I totally forgot to talk about the music. Well, I don't like the fact that it's dynamic, because what happens is you kill a guy, and it amps up for a little bit, and then it goes back down. And maybe if you had more bots, you could, kill more guys, and therefore keep the action going, but I think I'd just rather have the hype music the whole time, because the soundtrack itself is quite good, in terms of the music itself. It's just the way that it's implemented. Anyway, but that's going to do it. Yeah, I think this game is good. It's not as good as it was initially reviewed back when it came out, but it's a lot better than I think some people give it credit for today. So anyway, that's going to do it for Focus on B. This has been Unreal Tournament Free, 2007/8, PC, Xbox 360, and PS3.